Hi, welcome to Spotlight, your story, their lifeline, a mother-to-mother podcast. I'm Mimi.
And I'm Dobra, and together we are your hosts. In this mother-to-mother podcast, you will meet women sharing their stories of struggle, triumph, and hope. Our aim is to ensure that no woman ever feels alone.
Through their brave storytelling, these women become lifelines for others on their own journeys. So join us as we dive into the incredible stories that inspire and empower.
Welcome to Spotlight, where your story becomes a lifeline.
We are so excited to introduce all our listeners to our new sponsor, Makeup by Devoirie. Mimi, you know that saying, I've never worked a day in my life because I do what I love, or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that just like the dream?
Totally. Well, Devoirie is an amazing makeup artist based in London who has turned her passion into a thriving business. She just loves glamming people up and making them feel their absolute best. She says she just loves the entire process, and the reward is the glow the client leaves her makeup chair with. And that makes her feel incredibly fulfilled.
That's really beautiful. And Dobra, one of the things that really sets Devoirie apart is how she treats her clients. She's just so easygoing and wants every client to feel like her best friend. The experience is always warm, full of love, and most importantly, tailored to exactly what you want.
Yep, whether it's a wedding, an engagement party, a bar mitzvah, or any special event you can think of, Devoirie's got you covered. She takes immense pride in doing exactly what the client wants, ensuring you look and feel special for your big day.
And you know, some makeup artists, it's like trade secret or what they use. But with Devoirie, while she's working her magic, she's always happy to recommend the best products for you to keep up your gorgeous looks. It's like getting a makeup lesson and a makeover all in one.
That's really cool. And you would think that makeup is purely materialistic, but for Devoirie, it's so much more than that. It's about bringing joy and fulfillment not just to herself, but to every person she works with. She believes in their face, their choice, and making people happy.
Book your appointment via WhatsApp or text or call. The number is 07478 555 013. You will not be disappointed. Okay, and I love our new sponsor, Tudor Green, because they are just the most gorgeous flower boutique with the most gorgeous people running it. But honestly, I'm second guessing. Can we still back out?
What on earth are you talking about?
This should be on a men's podcast advert. Hello. We should be raving about gorgeous flowers to the men.
Okay, haha, I get it. That's cheesy, Mimi. But women like to treat themselves too, especially when decorating for Shavuos.
Yeah, that is really true. And with that being said, I take it back. We should definitely let our listeners know about Tudor Green in London.
Exactly. Located right on Golders Green Road. They're currently renovating, but they're still open and offering the best quality flowers. Mimi, did you know that they actually go to the market personally, hand-picking every single branch to ensure absolute perfection?
That's really incredible. And all the flowers are seasonal and at the freshest quality. Dobra, they also have a highly trained florist to help you pick the perfect bouquet or arrangement, and plus they have a beautiful selection of vases right in the shop, which is like pretty unique.
I've seen them and they are stunning. And it's not just in store. They do weddings, events, engagements, really anything you can think of.
Oh my gosh, lucky bride that gets engagement flowers from them. And can I say, the customer service there is incredible. Always a smile, always patient, and they have a brand new section coming to their new store, which is completely new and unique, but also under wraps. I have no idea what it is.
And for all those that can't make it to the store, you can order on WhatsApp or their website, and they offer secure payments, so there are no excuses for not treating your friends and family. Even if you live out of London, save this number and check them out online.
Hint, hint, mum, if you're listening, I'll send you the number.
And make sure to check them out on Instagram for more gorgeous photos of their amazing work.
So get those beautiful flowers ordered for Shavuos for yourself or for family and friends, and welcome in this special Yontef in its full glory.
You can WhatsApp them on 020 8455 6012. And also a big thank you to an anonymous sponsor. We really appreciate your support. Okay, and before we start the next episode, just a couple of things. Firstly, just a reminder for those who want to follow on Instagram, it's mother_, then the number 2 and mother again. And also just a reminder that this podcast is intended for women only and contains very sensitive information.
Welcome to Spotlight. In this week's episode, we have the privilege to have Yocheved all the way from Stamford Hill as our special guest. Yocheved will be sharing her incredible journey of pain, confusion, and ultimately relief with her diagnosis of endometriosis. Join us as we delve into her story and gain a deeper understanding of this condition. So welcome, Yocheved.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you. Yes, hello.
Welcome.
So I'm the 10th child of 15. Knaina Hora.
Knaina Hora.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm the 8th daughter. I had a very happy childhood, very easy-go-lucky kid, there was no problems. And yeah, conscientious, I loved school. And then about when I was 8 or 9, then I told...
Wait, can we just pause 1 second? 1 second. You're one of how many kids?
15.
Can you tell us a little bit about that before we delve into
loads
the
of fun.
story?
We're 9 girls. So really, I grew up with a lot of sisters. The boys were like under me, like 4 boys under me. So that was like the boy house. Before me were girls.
So it was first girls and then boys?
Basically, there are 2 older brothers, but they are far and few between all the 9
Poor
girls.
guys.
Yeah, Knaina Hora. So it was, it's fun. A lot of fun. Really happy childhood. And we played with each other a lot. Yes.
Can you tell us any stories? I mean, what's it like being you're quite like in maybe the bottom third? You know,
yeah, when you put it into thirds, with the bottom third, yes.
So what's it like being like lots of older siblings probably bossing you about a lot? Or?
Yeah, I really, they're my best friends, my older sisters, and they really mothered me and they gave me a lot of love and a lot of attention. So yeah, I love them and I'm very thankful for them.
So it was really just like a happy experience being part of such a big family.
I didn't feel bossed. No, I felt lucky to have such big sisters.
Right, that's amazing. Oh wow, that's just so much fun. Like you literally had a day camp every day.
Yes.
Party.
It's literally a party.
Fun. Yeah.
What was like Sundays like? Just
I don't know, just like party. Yeah, we just.
Was it ever quiet? Was it ever quiet in your house?
No.
Never
quiet. Very noisy, very fun. A lot of love, a lot of laughter. I never was lonely. Never. I'm still not lonely. I'm always got
amazing.
someone.
Okay, that's really fascinating. It's interesting because when we go on to the topic of your journey, I recently stumbled. You know when like you hear about something,
you don't stop hearing about
and
it.
then literally for the first time I heard about endometriosis. I can't even get the pronunciation right.
You will by the end of this.
And then suddenly I hear it from all sides. I was just looking up on the news something, and then suddenly I stumbled like an article just popped up about it, and then someone close acquaintance of mine suddenly just told me they were diagnosed with it.
Really?
And I was like, I know what that is.
I have never I've never
it's going to jump out
you know,
now
it's
at you.
1 in 10.
Yeah.
1 in 10 women. 1 in 10 have it.
So that's really common.
Very you don't hear about it. People don't even know they have it.
Is that because it's a private
No,
topic?
I think because people don't know that they have it. They just live with it without knowing about it. That's what I think. I'm
guessing from what we're going to hear. I mean, we've spoken beforehand, so I know all about it. But I'm guessing that if they are just living with it, then it can't be so bad. Their diagnosis,
right? Perhaps.
And there's obviously a spectrum.
Yeah, there's stages. The stages will explore soon.
Yeah,
but
we'll explore.
We'll definitely, but definitely, if it's 1 in 10, it's really common. Think of every 10 women, 1 of them have it. So that is really, really, really common. And yet, there's no support groups that I know of. There's no,
really?
I don't even know another lady that has it. I don't know anyone else that has it. And we're from 9 girls. My husband is from 11 children. I have mothers and aunties. I have aunties. No one. I don't know anyone that has
I
it.
can hook you up now with someone because I literally just heard about someone else.
Great.
It just started jumping out.
1 second, none of your siblings have it. Okay.
Not diagnosed, not as far as they know.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It's 1 in 10, but it's not well known. That one, I mean. You might have it and not know that you have it.
So I'm intrigued to hear, because I don't hear beforehand. Mimi's the one who speaks with you.
Okay.
So I'm really intrigued to hear this.
Yeah, so let's travel back because, so endometriosis is obviously to do with your periods, so menstruation. Yes. So let's just...
It's endo for short, by the way.
Endo?
Doctors, endo.
That's easy.
Thank you for making an abbreviation.
Endo, yes. If someone knows, they know it. Endo. If you say it, they'll know it. I'll know when someone tells me endo.
So we are going to be calling it endo from now on,
Yeah.
Deborah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes.
Okay.
So let's, how did you first discover it? I mean, tell us a bit about that first when you heard about it, and tell me your first emotions to when you heard what it is, getting your period, your menstruation, and what you thought it was to be.
So basically, my mother didn't tell me that pain should be associated or headache or anything like that, which I think is a good thing. I think if you tell your daughter period might make you have headache, she's going to say, wow, I've got headache today. You know, the look.
Psychological.
Yes. So my mother just told me that it's period. It means your body's working. Happy days. So when I started having pain, she gave me painkillers, and my sisters told me, yeah, this is life and welcome aboard. And it was fine. But then it got stronger and stronger, and it got to a point where I really couldn't breathe. I didn't know where to put myself.
What age was that?
It's hard to tell you exactly, but I know from 12, 13, 14, it was agony. So I got my period when I was 11. It must have been a year of just okay. And after that, the first periods were no pain.
Right.
But as far as back as I can remember, period was painful. But not when I was 11. I was in junior 4. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't share with my friends or anything. I was very mature. I got on with it. And then when I was 12, 13, 14, it started getting so bad, the pain. I was throwing myself on the floor. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't
Even
move.
with painkillers?
She used to come upstairs, my mother, with a cocoa and light pills, or I took them. Nothing. No difference. When I fell asleep, so they made me fall asleep. When I'd fall asleep, that was it, and I wake up completely
So you
gone.
couldn't go to school?
No, so I had to come home from school a few times. I couldn't go to school, and it was...
Gosh, it's having a real impact on
Yeah, it was... No, but that day, only the first day, when your
it's just
period
the first
arrived,
day?
the first day.
And
For
then
me,
after
it was
that,
the first
and
day.
then after that, you're fine.
Yeah, it was as if nothing.
You woke up
When I woke up,
and it was gone?
as if I didn't have... My period wasn't gone, my pain was gone.
Oh.
That is so
Yeah, it
interesting.
was very strange. I wonder if it's all the pills. Don't know. Anti-inflammatories and all that.
And to this day, then that's how it is.
You just don't know where to put yourself. It's a pain I can't describe. It's just someone's literally just squashing it inside, and you can't breathe, and you can't move, and bed doesn't help, and a bath doesn't help, and nothing helps.
Yeah,
and
I
that
read-
first
yeah.
hour, you read about it. It's
And you told me that initially. You told me that people can throw up and faint from it.
Yes, so I used to get, so that's the thing, that's also where they found the endometriosis. I used to get, when I felt very, very faint, I had to open my bowels, and then I would literally feel like I'm fainting on the toilet. I would be white, very, very white, and I'd have to crawl back to my bed from the toilet because I couldn't walk. And so when I was very young, I don't remember this, but when I was older, I remember like not asking my mother for help anymore because I just felt like, poor mother, like what should she do? So I used to just stumble my way back to my bed and and lay there in pain and just till I'd fall asleep. Literally the falling asleep for me was the pain relief. That was it. There was no other pain relief, nothing. And yeah, they all just heard me cry and scream.
Worse than labour.
Yeah, I've had labours. So I've had 4 children, Baruch Hashem. One of their labours is I compare it to the period because that was my easiest birth. And it was basically pain, but it kept stopping. I could breathe through, and then more pain. And I was surrounded by midwives, a water birth, and it was amazing. I was like, where were you all my life, you know? Why did he make me water births and sit there with me? So that was very it compared to the pain, but I was way more supported. I had everyone there with me. Everyone was expecting me to have pain. Here, everyone was like, can you stop yelling and be quiet and grow up and
Get
over
through
yourself?
it.
Yeah.
So what were your emotions in this? How did you, what were your thoughts going through this? And I can imagine until you got married, which is the pivotal part of the story, then up until then, you didn't have a diagnosis.
No.
Did you ever go to a doctor?
Yes, my mother took me to a doctor, I think twice in all the years. So basically between 12 and 18, I've been twice to a doctor. Both times they just said there's the period and it's painful, patronizing me, telling me that, this is
Just
life,
grow up, you're a
welcome
woman.
aboard. Exactly, but in a bit nicer terms. So, and I just thought to myself, okay, here, this is what the doctor's saying. So obviously they know what they're talking about and I'm just crazy. It made me second guess myself. It made me think do you really have pain? Do you really have pain? I used to ask
Because
myself.
people weren't believing you how
they
strong
just
it
thought
was.
big deal, get over yourself. There's much more awareness today, yeah? Much more. In those days it was whatever, period hurts, get over it. And
But you were one of 9 sisters, right?
we're 9 girls.
Nine girls.
8 sisters.
So 8 sisters. So you saw your sisters going through the same thing. And did that not make anyone question that this is just not normal?
Yeah, my father,
Interesting.
Yeah. He said to my mother so many times, like when I was yelling and screaming, I remember he used to say, this is not normal. Like, how is she yelling and the rest of them are not? He couldn't understand the difference. But my mother took me to the doctor, and the doctor just said, it's normal, and some people have it worse than others, and that's it.
Did you get a stronger painkiller than like the regular over-the-counter?
I think so. I got anti-inflammatory, which should really help, but no, it didn't help me.
No.
When I fell asleep, like I said, it helped me to fall asleep, and then when I fell asleep, when I woke up, I was fine. So I guess it helped me to put me to bed, but it didn't help the pain. So it was still very, very painful.
Wow. When we spoke about this initially, and I thought this was for the whole period of, excuse the pun,
sorry.
of the actual period. But I'm feeling relief now. But it was just the first day.
Yeah.
The first few hours until you fell asleep, because it sounds absolutely
For me, it was the
awful.
first. Yeah,
But I understand that it's not typical for endo, and symptoms can go on for much longer.
for me, it was the first few hours, and for me, sleeping was my way out.
But then if you were like out and about and then all of a sudden you felt, oh my gosh, my period's here. And so what did you do? Did you panic?
So that was quite scary. So if I would be shopping or something, I'll just quickly go home.
Right.
But in school once, I remember I was a larger girl and very like a macho, quite okay for myself. And then the secretary, I one day just went to her and I said, I'm not feeling well. And she took one look at me and she was like, you're not going home yourself. And she just really, I must have been very white.
Yeah.
I was like, my period is coming, but I didn't tell her that. And she actually, I remember like standing there with a bunch of girls that used to queue up outside the office. I don't feel well. Can I have a drink? Can I have this? Police sent her home. My school's quite near my house. And I remember feeling like, wow, she really thinks, like she really validated, like she really felt like this is someone that doesn't call her every day. I don't go to the office every day. I'm not feeling well. This one time when I really wasn't well, she took it very seriously and she sent me home. I remember hobbling up to my front door and just like, my mother knew exactly, like before I even opened the door, she knew exactly what I would look like. And then I just crawled up into my bed. She brought up cocoa and pills and it was the same spiel. For an hour, I threw myself till I fell asleep. That was always my time out. I was like, just put me to sleep. And then I'd wake up as if nothing. Different child, I'd come down happy as Larry. Can I go back to school now? I'm like, no. I was very conscientious and I hated missing school, so...
Wow,
that
is just
So this is what's happening
unbelievable.
once a month?
Yes, every single month. But I didn't always have it in school. I'd often have it in the middle of the night. It would come. So then I wouldn't go to school that day. But if I was in school, then yeah, my secretary was very nice. My friends didn't know. I never shared with them. I didn't think it was appropriate. And
Yeah.
it wasn't something like Yocheved misses school every month. I don't think they connected the dots. I don't think they realized it's every month.
It's not like there wasn't anyone in your family to talk to. It's quite a few.
Exactly. So we shared between us. Yeah. Eventually, my sisters that were closest to me, they started really feeling bad for me because they were with me every month. My older ones didn't really see it as much. They were in SEM or they were getting married. They were really. It was, I think, on them, on the ones near me, it was more tough. They really felt for me. They tried their best, but no one could really help me. It came to a point my little brothers were ready. Oh, Yocheved's got her monthly thing. They didn't know what, when, how. They just knew I screamed every month. So, yeah, it was very difficult. A very difficult time.
So, let's go on further. So this happened between what ages?
Between 12 and 18 was really, not 12, maybe 13 to 18. It was really bad. It got worse and worse. And every month I would think, okay, for sure I imagined that. Because when I wake up, it was all finished. I thought, for sure I imagined it. Like, it can't be. And the next month with the whole thing all over again, I'd almost feel faint. I'd have to go to the toilet, open my bowels. I was always connected. Afterwards, I found out why. But at the time, I didn't know. And I didn't dream I had the condition. I didn't think for 1 minute. I just thought, like, you are crazy. You can't take this pain and your sisters can. And that was it. It was all about that. And we had, like, sisters chasanas. And I remember thinking, like, just please not by the chasana. I don't want to have period by the chasana. And please let me just be well. So one sister, I remember clearly her chasana, then the night before, we all had to clean up the house and make ready for pictures. And I remember I was ill in bed. I couldn't move. And my other sisters were like, you just want to get out of helping us. You do want to help. That's why you're in bed. So that was very painful for me. And I remember telling them, like, I really don't want to be in bed now. I want to be out. I want to help
fun.
you. But I was really feeling bad. So I just stayed in bed. And that was that.
So now fast forwarding to when you went into Shidduchim. Before we hear the next part, which is the pivotal part of this story, and can you tell us a little bit about how you met your husband and what the dating process was, and a little bit about that part of your life?
Yeah, sure. One thing I want to mention is that in SEM, thank you Hashem, I'm still grateful to this day, nothing short of a miracle, had not one episode there, not one. So basically I was 2 years in Manchester SEM, away from home. I never had pain during my period. I basically was very weak, and I was like curled up in bed, but I never yelled. I never had an attack. I call it the attack when I felt never. And I'm putting it down to a miracle, not putting it down to anything else. It was Manchester, it wasn't even a different country. Hashem just saved me.
Lightened it in a certain way.
Yeah, it was no pain in Sem. I don't know how it's possible. Even that made me second guess myself. Okay, so when you're home, you have pain, and in Sem, you don't. So it must be that you're imagining it.
Yeah.
No, I just say thank you, Hashem, because I didn't want to have it in Sem when you're just away from everyone. So
Manchester's quite, I'm from Manchester, so it's quite an amazing town.
Manchester,
it must be the water.
Yeah. Baruch Hashem. I was in bed. I missed Shurim. I lay in bed, right. but I was okay. I wasn't in so much pain.
It was manageable.
Yeah, it was manageable pain. It was like a period that people describe. Yeah. You have pain and you lay in bed and you're fine. When I was younger and during the times when I was home with my period, there was no managing it. You couldn't. Everyone's saying just lay in bed and take a hot water bottle. You can't move. You can't. I don't know. I can't describe it. It's just very painful.
So when just jumping, we're going to jump back to the diagnosis. Is that a common thing that you can have periods of your time that you don't feel as much intense pain? Is that common?
I don't
or it
think
literally
so.
was a miracle?
For me, it was a miracle.
Right.
And when you finished that 2 years of SEM and you came home,
I was already engaged.
You were already engaged.
Wow.
And I was engaged. I already got engaged the second year SEM, Pesach. So no, every time I was home, but in SEM, when I was home and I got my period, I did have pain. It was literally, Hashem saved me from the embarrassment or the uncomfortableness of in Manchester being in SEM in a room of 8 girls and yelling and screaming in pain. You can't control yourself. You can't even hold it in because you're just in agony. So that, I feel, is a nest.
Is there something you had to mention when you were in Shidduchim?
So because I didn't dream that it was a condition, I literally thought I'm Mrs. Drama Queen. Then, because this is what I've been told. I didn't think I was Drama Queen because I was a very happy-go-lucky child. But I started thinking, it must be drama. You must be Drama Queen. Then that is something that I wouldn't have mentioned to not the Shatchan and not my husband either, because I just thought, like, it's period. It's every month. There were no other symptoms besides monthly. I just thought, like, I'm getting my periods. Clearly I can have children. There's nothing to mention. I didn't see it fit to mention something.
Right.
Tell us a little bit about the dating process.
Well, nothing so exciting. I'm the 10th child, Knaina Horror, and my father didn't like having traffic. So whenever we were available, we were shipped off.
Well, not really. You stayed in Stamford Hill.
Yeah, we stayed in Stamford Hill, exactly. So basically, the shidduch suggested, it's actually a girl in my class, her brother.
No way.
And so then the shidduch was suggested, and I met the mother, and then my father met my husband, my chassan, whatever, and then he said he's got very good midas, and I think it's a good idea for you. And I met him twice on the same day.
Oh, wow.
And that night we were engaged.
Amazing.
So, and I didn't think to tell him about my period because I didn't think it was relevant. I didn't think I had a condition. I didn't think it'd be a journey. I just thought that this is pain and that's life. Yeah. And that's it. That's me.
And when you met him, then the conversation is like very light and just,
Yeah, it's just a little bit about his life, a little bit about my life. Nothing too deep, nothing too personal.
Because you've already done all that previously.
Because the parents make sure it's more compatible. Really, midas is the main thing that my father looked for, and Baruch Hashem, he found it in my husband, so that's good.
Well, listen, he's quite a pro after marrying how many children before you?
9.
Exactly.
Yeah, there were 9 married before me, and Baruch Hashem, we had the l'chaim that night, and then the chasana was a few months later, and I was really excited. I was a very excited color. We didn't speak a lot during the engagement. And then, my chasana was a very, very lebendig and very fun. I was a beaming colour, had a blast.
You still are.
I wasn't like dreading married life with periods and all that. I literally thought I'll just tell my husband when I'm married that I'm going to get very bad periods. And
get lots of cocoa in stock.
Exactly. And so then after my Sheva Brucha, when my Sheva Brucha started, I told him, like, we came in from the chasana, I think the next morning already, I told him, by the way, my period's going to come and it's going to be really bad and I'm going to scream and yell, just ignore me and leave me do my thing. And he's like, okay, like, that's interesting. And then my period came and he's like, this is not normal. Not one part of this, nothing. He just said it's not normal. And every month he would say again and again, Yocheved, this is not normal. There's nothing normal about it. This can't be normal. And I said, it's ready for years. He's like, no, this is not normal. He was the one that really made me realize how mad it was.
So what did you do?
Oh, that's amazing.
So we were
amazing that he had that, like, intuition. And
yes.
he just knew
He knew it wasn't regular, yeah. I know, I don't know how he knew. Baruch Hashem.
Yeah.
So when I was about 3 months married, then I started having very bad pain before I needed to go to toilet. So it was like really bad, and just not during my period, just I would really get cramps. I'd have to go that minute to toilet, and then afterwards I'd be fine. And it's happened a bunch of times. I told him, it's really hurting me when I go to toilet. So he said there's someone called Dr. in our community that does nutrition. He's brilliant. He dowses. Why don't you go to him and ask him why you have pain before you have to go to the toilet? So I said, okay. So I made an appointment and I went, and he said he did dowsing, and he said I should stay away from 5 foods. He said sugar, marge, yeast, white flour, and grapes. So I said, no problem. I was conscientious. I think I avoided it as if I was allergic to it, and my stomach aches went away. I lost a ton of weight. A ton. Like, I literally, my Sheva Bruchas dresses were swimming on me. Wow. I took them all to the dressmaker, took them all in. Because you avoid sugar, then you're basically avoiding cake. And then I was really slim, and I was on a really healthy, like my skin looked healthy, everything looked really healthy. And then my husband was like, right, so we're done with that. Now we have to deal with your period pain. I was like, okay, doctor. When I told him about it, he didn't have like a food related thing that he could help me. So he said, we're going to go to Dr. which is a doctor that is medical proper. So we went, we were 6 months married, and we went to Dr. and he listened to my symptoms, which was only period pain, because there are other symptoms for endometriosis. I had only very severe period pain, and he told me that there is such a thing called endometriosis. That was the first time in my life I heard about it. I was about 20. No, I was 19, sorry. I was newly married. I was 19 years old, and he said there's such thing as endometriosis, which is really bad period pain. It also can affect fertility. And I was 6 months married. I wasn't pregnant yet, but I wasn't worried. I just knew that in most healthy couples within the first year, generally, you can become pregnant quite simply if there's no problems on either side. So he said, look, you're very young. You're only married 6 months. Go home and try to have a baby, because that eases symptoms of people that have period pain. They always report that after babies, it's less painful. Generally. So he said, go home and continue doing what you're doing, and let's hope to hear good news, and let's hope your problem is solved. But he did give me a doctor's name that is the head of the endometriosis clinic in hospital, and she's very well known also in private clinics and private hospitals, and he said I should go and meet her if and when I think that I might have endometriosis. So we went home, my husband and me, and I just said to my husband, I don't have endometriosis. Can't be such a posh word for what I have.
What can the other symptoms be?
Like of endometriosis? So there's a few symptoms. So one is very bad period pain is a big one. There's mid-cycle staining, which Baruch Hashem had none of. There's pain in the lower tummy and back during the whole month, not only during your period. So there was a lot of other symptoms, and Dr. himself didn't really think I had it. I don't think he...
Right. And of course there's the infertility, which is also often a consequence, and it can also be difficult to diagnose because it may not be seen on an ultrasound scan, and a woman may have to have a keyhole surgery to diagnose the condition.
He said the word endometriosis, and I'm thankful to him for opening my eyes to it, but I even didn't believe, and he didn't believe that I had it.
Yeah, because you had none of these other symptoms at all.
Literally only period pain.
And that's not enough to diagnose it.
Nope. That's why it's so hard to diagnose. And it intertwines with loads of other things. Infertility can be a host of things. Everyone just says, nah, can't be. I mean, that's what I said. I said, I don't believe I have it. Can't be. That's what I just kept
Also, when you
myself.
wake up and it's just like completely gone.
Yeah.
Then even more so, you're just like, okay, hopefully it just won't be like that next month.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And you had that period of time when you were in Manchester that you never had it. So it really messes with your brain.
Yeah.
So tell us what happened then.
So what happened next was my husband decided he does want to meet this head of what Dr. sent me. So we paid a week's wage, my week's wage. I worked from 9 till 6 in an office. I got a good wage. The whole week's wage went to meet this lady.
Wow.
I will not say her name at the moment. And basically, she's a very impressive woman, tall and thing. I was so intimidated, and we sat down for a consultation with her, and she looked at me and my husband, and we told her, and I wanted to make it sound worse. So I said, we're here for infertility and period pain, because I thought they were connected, and I wanted her to take me seriously. So I said, we're here for infertility and for bad period pain. She almost choked from laughter. She just looked at us. Now, my husband got a very young look, and I was 19. She looked at us and she said, go home and we'll see you in a year, whatever, for just good news. She thought we were the laughing stock of the world. Like, she just laughed us out the room. And I said, but I have period pain. And she said, welcome aboard. Like, she literally, I said, but endo something I might have. She looked at me and she's like, endometriosis, not a chance that you have it. I said, why? She said, you're 20, you're 19. Was I 19 or 20? I can't remember. I was really young. You're married, what, a year, 6 months? You're saying you're infertile? Like, she was laughing. She thought I was bananas. My husband looked like he was 15. I was there sitting there, young lady. She just laughed us out the room. She's like, look, I'm so sorry, but I have another, like an emergency came in. It was in a hospital, private hospital. She's like, a cesarean emergency. I need to go. And I'm sorry. Please see yourself out. And that was it. We went home. I told my husband, I'm so sorry for spending all that money on an appointment with someone that just thought I was mad. I said, you see, I told you I don't have anything. Let's go home and forget about it. And we did till the next period.
Gosh, that is...
like, I'm not forgetting
period. Oh, no.
It's so disheartening,
yeah,
that.
I was so upset. And she really is someone special. Like, she is the head. She's amazing. She's top. She's highly recommended. And I just think that I looked funny because we looked like so young and so like... I came with infertility as well. Like, that's what I told her, but I wasn't for that. She just probably thought like, oh my gosh, like, go home.
We'll be right back to this episode. Hi, I'm Danielle.
And I'm Aviva, and we are the founders of Mother to Mother, an organization that supports and empowers women on their motherhood journeys. We offer a wide range of services to make sure that every mother can thrive, from emotional support services to mother and baby groups, practical help, health information, community kitchen, and more.
Mother to Mother builds communities of women to support each other. By tuning into our podcast, you have joined the Mother to Mother family today. Welcome, and enjoy the rest of this episode.
And you told her all your symptoms of period pain, which is not
really
clearly not
bad
normal.
Period pain. Yeah, I told her I have very, very bad period pain. So she said, and? I said, but I think I have that endo thing that Dr. said I should come see you. She's like, look, it's highly unlikely that you have it. And I'm like, I'm sorry that you don't have a baby yet. You're married for 8 months or whatever. I felt disgusted, actually. I just said to my husband, okay, let's just go. Let's just go. And he drove me home and he was very supportive. He didn't say it's a waste of money. He said, Yocheved, it's okay. This is fine. Well, if you don't have endometriosis, Baruch Hashem. So at least we went and saw someone. I said, okay, great. And then the next period, he's like, I think you do have it. I was yelling all back to he's like, Yocheved, you for sure have this endo thing. I said, I don't know. Yeah, that lady said I don't have it. She was like so sophisticated and so she was someone that should know. But really you can't know. That is the problem. You can only know when you have surgery. So yeah, it was very disheartening. I still remember the feeling of coming home and just after seeing this lady and she literally didn't take us seriously. I felt like such a fool. I was like, yeah. All right, not mentioning the word infertility again in my life. I just thought I was a joke. So that was really hard.
So how did you come to being diagnosed?
Yeah, what happened?
For real?
For real this time. So basically after, it was a year plus. We were married already a year plus. And I was a very happy-go-lucky person. And I had a job 9 till 6. And my husband had the business. It was very busy times. And fun and happy. I was not a drama. And every month again, my husband reminded me how it was not normal. And this is not normal. And this is not something you should live with. And basically I said to him, like, is it the infertility that he said, it's nothing to do with infertility. You cannot be in pain every month. And so I said, okay, let's go to an NHS doctor and let's tell them that we have pain and I'm not getting pregnant. Let's mix it together. Let's see what they say. I just sat there and I said, I've got period pain for 9 years. Very bad, very intense. I've married for a year plus. It was already, I think, 15, 16 months. I'm not pregnant. I'm not on any contraceptive. I believe I've got endometriosis. Weeks later, I had an appointment for surgery.
Is that what you wanted? You wanted to have surgery just to find out already what was going on?
At that point, I already read up what endometriosis was. At that point, I felt like I had it. After thinking I don't have it, then I thought I did have it after a year and a bit. And my husband was like rock solid next to me all the way. He's like, Yocheved, I'm with you all the way. And I didn't tell anyone about the surgery because I didn't want them to laugh at me if I woke up and it was no endometriosis. Didn't tell a soul. Now we're from a big family and I'm very close to my sisters and it was very hard for me, but I just didn't tell anyone. And my husband was fully supportive. We went into surgery, 2 little kids together. Not his parents, not my parents, no one. He drove me in. We had to be 7 o'clock in the morning. I had to be in the hospital. I lay there in the hospital bed. I was
Put to sleep?
So they put me to sleep. But first, when I lay there, my husband was next to me, and I was like, what are we, 16 months, maybe 17 months married? And I was like, we are mad. I'm laying on a bed, and I was like, just to chap that if they do this and I wake up and there's no endometriosis, we're just two fools in a hospital room. He's like, it's okay, I don't care, I'm here with you, don't worry, we won't tell anyone.
Yeah.
So we were there, and then they wheeled me in, they put me to sleep. I remember just looking up at the ceiling and just thinking, like, you might wake up with holes and scars for nothing. I was the whole time telling myself, it's okay if that happens. And they put me to sleep, and I remember they woke me up because they want to make sure that you can wake up. And they were trying to sit up the bed, and I was like, put me back to sleep. And they said, we found endometriosis. And I was like, yes, thank you. They were like, we took it out, we took it all out. I said, thank you.
Oh, it's an actual thing.
Let's hear about what this is.
Okay,
What is this?
so what is endometriosis?
Yeah.
Oh my
Sorry,
God, what
I'm
a
going
relief.
on and on.
Go on, no, this is fascinating.
Just take a drink.
But what? Yeah. It's absolutely, you're probably gripping me.
I didn't realize it was an actual thing that they have to take out.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So basically, what is endometriosis?
Yeah.
So it's a growth. It grows. So in the womb, there's a lining that's called the endometrium. Every month, it thickens and prepares for a baby. When a baby happens, great, that's what holds and helps you to have the baby. When the baby doesn't happen, it sheds. The whole lining of the womb sheds. It's called the endometrium. Now, endometriosis is when that tissue from the womb also grows in other places in your body. And every month, it thickens and sheds wherever it is. So the difference is it can't come out of your body. So it stays in your body. So it thickens, it sheds, and stays. And every month.
You're talking about in your room, every place in your room?
No.
Where?
Everywhere else that it grows. So it can grow on or in the ovaries. It can grow on the fallopian tubes. It can grow on bladders, on bowels. Then it can go even worse. It can go kidney, liver. It can go to your lungs. It can go to your brain. But it doesn't usually get there. It usually stays with the fallopian tubes, ovaries, and womb. So basically, it grows there every month. More tissue grows. So it just
builds up.
It builds up and it thickens and sheds. So that's the pain. Because it's not only in your womb, it's thickening and shedding everywhere. And then obviously, as you have more and more periods, it builds more and more endometriosis. So what happens is you can have, they're called adhesions, where it's sticky, where the organs can get sticky, covered in like this endometrium tissue. So when they woke me up, they said, we found endometriosis, and I was just so happy. And I remember feeling so groggy, because they woke me. I just said, put me back to bed, and my husband was standing, and he said, Yocheved, you have endometriosis, you have, I don't know, you have it. He was so
relief.
happy.
Like,
he was just so proud of us, like that we went and got it sorted. Straight away when they woke me up, they just said, we found endometriosis, and I was like all happy. And then they had to make me recover because they had put in stuff in my body and I was groggy. I went home with my husband. I actually didn't go home. I went to one of my sister's house. She cared for me. At that point, I told my family and they were so happy.
Probably shouted it off the rooftop.
I wasn't feeling up to it, but I promise if I'd be feeling good, I probably would have.
Like all you people out there, it wasn't
drama.
Yeah.
It was very validating to hear it, but I just felt so groggy at the time because I was after surgery. And then I went home to recover and they told me at 6 weeks they wanted me to have a checkup to come back just to discharge me. And that 6th week, I was already pregnant with my son.
Wow.
So when I went back and they showed me the pictures, they had like an A4 paper with little squares, loads of little squares. And I said to them, by the way, before you discharge me, you know I'm pregnant. They said, wow. I said, but you don't think it's connected? No. I said, sorry, you don't think this is connected to this? No. I said, but I'm pregnant now. Yeah, so. They thought it was nothing to do one with the other. And I was like, I'm already pregnant. I had my period when you did it. And I'm ready 6 weeks later and I'm pregnant with my child already. Like, they didn't think it was connected. I do think it was connected.
Even though it's a symptom. Interesting.
Even though infertility, because I was 21. I was 20. Yeah, 21 when he was born. So I was 20. So they didn't think that it was connected because so young. And and Baruch Hashem, my baby was born that year, my son. He was born the same year. So January 2013, I had surgery and he was born December 2013. And basically they discharged me. They showed me loads of pictures. It was very interesting for me to see. Real color pictures, what they took when they were inside with the camera. So basically it looks like when you look into your child's mouth and you see their tonsils. like skin and tissue. That way it looks like a lot of pink and they just showed me like, here was endometriosis, here we lasered it, here. And they said you had a lot behind your bowels, a lot. So basically that was where it was concentrated for me. And that was probably why when I had to go to the toilet to open my bowels, it made me very faint. And also probably why I had this pain. They said a lot of it was concentrated behind my bowels. And that was it. And then it discharged me and Baruch Hashem, I had my baby. And after that, my periods were not as painful as they were.
You said it's a, what do you call it? It's a condition. Yeah. Chronic. For life.
I remember the surgery was on a Wednesday. I worked 9 till 6. So I didn't want to tell anyone. So I just told them I'm going to Antwerp for Shabbos. Okay. So Wednesday, I left on Wednesday night. I told them Wednesday night. Wednesday, I'm busy. I have to. And Thursday, Friday, I took off work. And Monday, I was back in work. And that Shabbos was very, very painful. And then Baruch Hashem, after I went home, and it recovered very nicely. It's a very small scar. It's 2 keyhole. And then Baruch Hashem the recovery was okay. Besides that pain in my shoulders, the recovery went really well. And I have very tiny scars. Till today. So Baruch Hashem, and it was really amazing. And when they discharged me and they showed me that picture, one of the pictures was my ovaries and my fallopian tubes, like a zoom out.
What is it that you want to shout out to every single mother in the world?
Yes.
And tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, because also it's a very private topic and people don't talk about these things.
It is.
So
it is. I'm surprised I'm talking about it, but I feel that
You're
I can
incredible.
help someone.
Yeah.
And maybe even some few people. If it's
if it's 1 in 10.
Yeah. And I do feel there are people like that are older, even they have children, they're 40, they're 45, they may be now having symptoms and stuff. It's not something that ever goes away. It's something that is chronic and it's for life. So what my message is to mothers, you shouldn't suffer alone. My message is that there's help out there and there's a reason most times for pain that it shouldn't be there. Period is painful, but with a limit. So to mothers, if your daughter is feeling really pain a lot and she's yelling, then she's not just a drama queen. Take her seriously. And I'm telling all mothers and colour teachers that endometriosis is 1 in 10. And if you know someone that is suffering, they shouldn't be suffering alone. And you should help them by telling them this, and they can Google the symptoms and they can get help.
In case there is someone that maybe their daughter is listening to this,
yes.
Usually this podcast is intended, all our episodes are intended for women only, but it may be that a mother might know that their child is really suffering and she would want maybe to hear something from you, that you've gone through this, or if for someone to be able to just to understand their daughter more. Can you tell us on like an emotional side of things? Talk to a girl that is going through it and talk to they're really suffering and they're thinking that they're crazy, like what you thought, that you're just a drama queen and you have experience of periods because you've got plenty of sisters to see what it really should be like. So talk to a girl and who's really suffering right now.
Right, so it's a tough one. I'm thinking back to what I felt like. So first I felt very alone because I felt like no one really understood my pain. So first I want to tell you, whoever you are listening, you're not alone, you're not crazy. And I really remember feeling the pain and it's real and no one should tell you it's not real. And it could be you don't have endometriosis. It could be you have very bad period pain, which is also a thing, but it's okay. If this is bad for you, then this is what it will be. And don't let anyone tell you it's not bad. If you are listening to this podcast and you want to tell your mother about it, then she can call me or you can just tell her what you've heard. You can take stuff. There is help, even if you're not got endometriosis. And I'm sorry you're going through this and you're not alone and you're not crazy. That's what I want to tell them.
Yocheved, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And sharing your story. Such awareness. Just unbelievable awareness.
I think this episode is extremely important and really brave of you to come on, because the main point of this episode is to build awareness in these topics that are hardly spoken about.
Yeah.
Thanks for allowing it.
Thank you.
And just to our listeners out there, we highly recommend you go on the NHS website for more information on endometriosis and to see your GP if you have any concerns raised for the subject being discussed.
Thank you for listening to this episode on Spotlight. If you are affected by any of the challenges we have discussed, then please visit www.mtom.org.uk/podcast for guidance on where to find help.
Do you also have a story to share? Be in touch if you'd also like to be a lifeline for others by sharing and empowering women across the world. podcasts@mtom.org.uk.